Namaskar and welcome to Pradipta's Musings. Today I will read out a few incidents about Sadhu Nag Mahashay, the great saintly householder disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, about his unflinching faith and great devotion for Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. I am reading out these incidents from the book Nag Mahashay, a saintly householder disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, and this book has been written by Sharat Chandra Chakraborty, a householder disciple of Swami Vivekananda, and this book has been translated from original Bengali and has been published by Sri Ramakrishna Math, Mylapore, Madras. Sadhu Nag Mahashay is a very well-known name in Ramakrishna Vivekananda circle. He was the greatest householder disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, and his exemplary life, it shows how even with the most minimal of worldly possessions and without any worldly power, how a person can develop the powers of his mind by the grace of his Guru and gain mastery over the lower self and reach the highest realms of spiritual realization. Now, before I read out how Sadhu Nag Mahashay showed his great devotion towards Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, I will narrate how Sadhu Nag Mahashay was instructed by Sri Ramakrishna to live the life of a householder, in spite of the fact that Sadhu Nag Mahashay had a burning spirit of renunciation and he had a very strong desire to take up monastic life. Here I must say that as a householder, Sadhu Nag Mahashay was very ideal and he was very, very kind, compassionate and very loving towards his father, his wife and all the other members of the family, and also towards the many devotees who came to Sadhu Nag Mahashay for spiritual instructions. Not only spiritual instructions, but also to be in his holy company and get influenced by the exemplary life of great ideals that Sadhu Nag Mahashay used to live. Noticing Nag Mahashay's strong spirit of renunciation and his desire to take to monastic life, Sri Ramakrishna told him once again, "Continue to be a householder and remain in your own home. Somehow or other, the family will get its bare maintenance. You won't have to worry for it." Nag Mahashay said, "How can one remain in the home? How can one remain unmoved even at the sight of others' sufferings and troubles?" Sri Ramakrishna said, "Well, I tell you, take my word, nothing can taint you. Even if you remain a householder, men will wonder to see your life." Nag Mahashay said, "How should I pass my days as a householder?" Sri Ramakrishna said, "You have not to do anything. Only be always in the company of pious men." Nag Mahashay said, "How am I to distinguish a pious man, unintelligent as I am?" Sri Ramakrishna said, "Oh no, you have not to search for them. You remain in your own house and the truly pious men will of their own accord come to you." So this is how Nag Mahashay was instructed to live the ideal life of a very devoted, pious and ideal householder by Sri Ramakrishna. From the exemplary life of Sadhu Nag Mahashay and the instructions given to him by Sri Ramakrishna, we also can learn that even as householders, we can also make spiritual progress if we stick to the highest ideals of spirituality and inculcate the great values which have been laid down by pious men and saints of our religion. Now I will read out the passage which demonstrates how Sadhu Nag Mahashay used to greet and meet Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi and how much devotion he had for her. That time, the Holy Mother of the devotees of Sri Ramakrishna was living in the garden house of Nilambar Babu on the bank of the Ganga at Belur. One Sunday, Nag Mahashay wanted to see her. He brought some sweets and a piece of red bordered cloth for the mother and was ready to start when Chakraborty, that is Sharat Chandra Chakraborty, who was a disciple of Swami Vivekananda, householder devotee, came to accompany him, and he found Nag Mahashay very excited, and he was uttering like a child, repeatedly uttering "Mother, Mother" at intervals. They went to Ahiritola Ghat, got into a ferry boat and reached Belur in a short time. He was so full of emotion that on landing at the ghat, Nag Mahashay began to quiver as a leaf before a strong wind. Swami Premananda had seen Nag Mahashay from a distance and he had already informed the mother. When they reached the landing ghat, he caught hold of Nag Mahashay, whose frame was about to give way in ecstasy and emotion, and led him slowly to the mother's presence. After the lapse of about half an hour, they came out. Nag Mahashay, still not fully in the plane of ordinary consciousness, was saying, "Mother is always more merciful than the father." Swami Premananda said, "Oh, how the mother bestowed her grace upon Nag Mahashay today. She partook a portion of the sweets brought by Nag Mahashay and then gave him her prasadam with her own hands." So, this is how Nag Mahashay had so much of devotion and he was so much full of reverence and respect and great adoration for the Holy Mother. He had so much realization about her great spiritual stature that Sadhu Nag Mahashay used to be so much perturbed by the very thought of meeting the Holy Mother, and he used to get so much full of ecstasy, excitement, and he used to be flooded with emotions. Another incident I am reading out. When Nag Mahashay returned to Calcutta from Gaya, that is Bodh Gaya, the Holy Mother was living at Bagh Bazar. Nag Mahashay was one day going to her with sweets and a piece of cloth, when suddenly he had an attack of colic on the way and he could not proceed any further. Nag Mahashay used to suffer from colic pain. He had to remain almost senseless for a long time on the veranda of a house in the street. He could easily have returned home in a hackney coach and had enough money to pay for it. But how could he do so without offering the things he had brought for the mother? See how much devotion really. This is unthinkable that he ignored his physical illness also. He was lamenting that he could not go there as he was forced to lie down. Nearly after 2 hours he felt relieved and returned home after having an interview with the Holy Mother. He ignored his physical illness. He took rest till his colic pain subsided, and then he fulfilled his commitment to go to the Holy Mother to visit her, and then after talking to her and being in her holy company, he returned back. So this is how we devotees should be. An ideal devotee ignores all his physical pain and all his troubles to be in holy company of his guru or chosen ideal. So this is how Sadhu Nag Mahashay used to show his devotion, used to exhibit his boundless devotion for the Holy Mother. In spite of being a householder, he lived the life of a renunciate, and he inculcated all the great values of ahimsa and compassion for all fellow beings. He gave up all ego and vanity, and he never wanted to be a guru also. He was very, very down to earth. And Girish Chandra Ghosh, the great dramatist and householder devotee of Sri Ramakrishna, used to say that Mahamaya could not capture Swami Vivekananda and Nag Mahashay, one the great renunciate disciple of Sri Ramakrishna and another the great householder disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Both of them were saved from the clutches of Mahamaya, from the great illusion of samsara. When Girish Chandra Ghosh used to say that when Mahamaya wanted to capture Swami Vivekananda in her illusion, Swami Vivekananda became so bigger and bigger that he could not be captured in the mesh of illusion which is cast by Mahamaya. And similarly, Sadhu Nag Mahashay became so smaller and smaller that he escaped from the mesh of illusion created by Mahamaya in this samsara. This is how Sadhu Nag Mahashay was, and very little is known about him. Only Sharat Chandra Chakraborty, the householder devotee and disciple of Swami Vivekananda, who moved with Saint Sadhu Nag Mahashay very intimately in the later part of his life, he only wrote down the memories of Sadhu Nag Mahashay or Saint Durgacharan Nag, and the book which I am referring to, this is the book, and this book is an adaptation from the Bengali publication which is written by Sharat Chandra Chakraborty. And I think the devotees of Ramakrishna Vivekananda, they can refer to this book, Nag Mahashay, a saintly householder disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. This book, which is available in all the libraries of Ramakrishna Mutt centers all over the country. Hari Om Tat Sat, Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.